Hey guys, welcome back. Patrick here. It's Wednesday, so of course it's the midweek SPAC news and price update. So this week we've got some new mergers and we're going to be following some new companies, new SPACs. Of course, we also got price action from our old favorites. So just let me know in the comments which ones do you want me to cover because we're reaching the end of some of the older ones. Hyliion, FMCI, LCA, all of my favorites are getting fairly close to the shareholder meeting where they'll be voting on the merger. So after that, I'll still cover them, but they won't be SPACs, right? So now we'll be heading into a new batch of SPACs. So let me know in the comments which ones you guys are interested in. But so today we'll be going over GMHI, Goris Mitropoulos, which is going to be merging with Luminar, another EV play, but in a different category, which I find very interesting. Second, quick update on OPES, BurgerFi. Some of you have asked me to give an update about it. Then we'll go into Hyliion and the new SPAC launched by the sponsor. Then Lordstown, which has pretty big price movement today. And we'll close out with CCH UTS, which has the shareholder meeting tomorrow. But first, please do me a favor, click the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. And now let's really get started. All right, guys, let's get started with GMHI, which is going to be merging with Luminar. So I'm not going to do a full review. This is just to give you an introduction of the company and why I'll be following it. So first, LiDAR technology is for autonomous driving, and they're one of the leader in that category. So this is a technology company. It's not an EV company per se, but all of those players are in the same field because they're working to like the cars and vehicles of the future. So that's what's interesting. This is what it looks like. They send out laser beams that come back to the system, maps out the surroundings to avoid obstacles, and plan the course for the vehicle. So if we look at this is what's interesting about it. They have 7 of the world's top 10 automakers working with them. So they have serious partners. The technology is vetted, and they're competing with Tesla. Tesla does its own thing. They have their own system, but a lot of the other automakers are competing with Tesla and are planning autonomous driving in the future are using this technology. So one of their biggest partners is Volvo. So this just goes to show you that they're partners with big players. Like it's not a small company that no one cares about. Now, if we look at the OEM spec requirements, they're matching all of them already. I think it's for level 5 autonomous driving. So this is very good. According to them, they're well ahead of all of their competition. And for a play like this, you want the top dog. You want the number 1 player. You don't want the third best, right? Because there's going to be one company that's going to dominate the market. Hopefully, it's Luminar. So if we look at their gross profit, it's not that good. Oh no, this isn't it actually. Sorry. If we look at their revenues, we can see that they're going to be losing money in the beginning, but over time, as the market grows, right, as autonomous driving becomes more of a thing, that's when it's going to ramp up significantly. So starting in 2024, this is when you should see a lot of revenues, and they expect massive growth. I mean, look, like they think that they can get over 100% per year. And what I was going to show you, the other slide, is this is what's going to be significant, is that since it's a technology company, their profit margin is very high. So in the beginning they'll be losing a lot of money, but once they reach critical mass where the revenues are above their fixed costs and their R&D and everything, this is when they're going to start making a ton of profit. I hope that makes sense. Now, if we look at their valuation, this is the downside a little bit, right? Everyone knows that it's a future tech company, and because of that, it gets a premium. So you have to pay for in the future when they get that massive growth while you're paying for it ahead of time. So right now they're going to be valued about $3 billion, and you can see that's a lot higher than DPHC Lordstown, which is the manufacturer that uses other people's technology, and right now is only at what, a little over a billion, 1.5 billion. So one interesting thing, Elon doesn't believe in this technology. He says that anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. So that was in 2019. I wouldn't want to have Elon as my competitor because right now Tesla is the leader in autonomous driving for cars. But at the same time, you can see that they have very serious partners. So as long as they have a lot of different people that work for them and the system works, that's all that matters. Now, if we look at the price, right now we can see that there wasn't a very big pop for this company when the price was announced, when the merger target was announced, which is kind of surprising. I mean, it's an autonomous driving company that's kind of sexy, but I mean, good for me, good for us, right? It only went up to about $12, and now it's back to the low 11s already. So I'm going to add this one to my watch list. I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. I'll follow the price, I'll follow the warrants, and I'll make my decision. I need to analyze the company a little bit more. If you want me to do a review, just let me know in the comments. But I'm going to keep this one on my watch list, and I find this very interesting. All right, guys, and now let's talk about OPES BurgerFi. So a lot of you have asked me to do an update on them. Well, there really isn't that much to talk about. When they announced that they were going to seek an extension for the merger because they don't think that they'll be able to complete it before their allotted time, and the price has just been going down since then. This is a story of OPES, right? It's just they can't seem to get any traction because the management team looks like it sucks. That's my not very polite assessment of the management team. Ever since that conference call, they just can't seem to get their crap together. So again, the stock price is bleeding, right? It went from 12 something all the way down to 11.43. And remember, I had my warrants that I had done pretty well with. I had bought them at 140. But as it went down, I actually got stopped out at 180. So now I'm out of the warrants for now. But I'll be honest with you guys, I still think that this company, once they get close to the merger, once we know when the merger is, it's actually not bad. I mean, I kind of like it in the sense of, even though I don't believe in the company, the fact that there's so little faith in this company right now, the stock isn't doing anything. Well, it's kind of in the back burner. Like everyone else is thinking about other stocks. Everyone's focused on Hyliion, LCA, FMCI, all of the good ones, Graph, all of the better companies. So OPS is just on its little corner and no one's paying attention to it. So we're getting back to very close to 11 bucks. So this is getting to a point where it might become an opportunity again. Like even here, I missed this one, but it dipped under 11. That would have been a decent entry opportunity. Because eventually, once they get back into the merger mode, like that ramp up is going to go back. So we can expect that it's going to go back to 13 or whatever it was before. So this is my assessment for the company. I don't like the management of OPES, but BurgerFi's management itself seems to be okay. So once they finally complete the merger, then that company should be clear. But for now, it's just not good. And now let's talk about our favorite turtle, Tortoise Acquisition Corp, which is of course Hyliion, and what are they doing now and what's been going on. Well, we can see that on the chart. I mean, today has been wavy but mostly flat. But if we look at the longer chart, the hourly chart, we can see that it's kind of getting back in a downtrend now, and that's a little concerning. Monday was of course the huge spike in price, right? From 30 to 40. That was very cool. Then yesterday was more consolidation, like it was flat. But today went down. So if we look at MACD, we can clearly see that the purple line is under the orange line, meaning that right now there's more sellers than buyers. And again, like if we look at the volume, we can see that the volume died down yesterday and today. And that's not good at all, because compared to Monday, look at the green bars. You can see that Monday there was a lot more buying than there was today. And what typically happens with Hyliion when there's no volume, it just trickles down. And what makes it worse for us is that right now there's no supports really above 30 unless you count the all-time high, like when the merger was announced. But to me, that's very thin. Like that's not very strong support. So if the trend comes down, I mean, you can see that there's not a lot supporting it. It could go down significantly. Now, tomorrow, I mean, I know I say this all the time, but tomorrow is going to be a big day for the stock, so keep a close eye. Because if it goes down tomorrow, then we can confirm that, again, it's on a downtrend. If it stabilizes, that's very good news, and then we can assume that it might be consolidating for its next push. Eventually, when they announce the shareholder meeting, that's the next catalyst that we're looking forward to. But until then, the price can dip a little bit more. The warrant price 15.39, same thing. I mean, it's trickling down, and there's still that arbitrage between the two of about how much is it? 1539 plus 1150, so we're at 2689 compared to 3870 for the shares. So you have about $11 in arbitrage there. So again, same as I tried to explain last time, you have to calculate in your mind, okay, when these become redeemable, do you think that after the excitement dies down and people start selling their stock, do you think that the stock is going to be above $27? Yes or no? If yes, then the warrants are still a good deal. If you think that it's going to be $27 or less, then you're not getting a discount by getting the warrants. That's how I analyze it. So another thing that's happened is the sponsor actually filed for a new SPAC, which is very interesting because you can interpret it in two different ways. Number one is that means that they probably assume that the first one is going through no problem, so now they can move on to the second one. And we can also imagine that when they did their research to acquire Hyliion, well, we know because they talked about it before that they contacted 200, they reviewed 200 different companies. So it's very likely that they have a lot of contacts in that industry already. So is the second acquisition going to be quicker? I mean, that's an interesting way to think about it. I'm not sure, right? It can be or it cannot be, but I'm interested to find out, and I'll keep an eye out on it. So they're trying to raise how much? 287,500,000. So again, they're looking for the same industry, uh, which is a business in the broad energy transition or sustainability arena, targeting industries that require innovative solutions to decarbonize. So I feel like the landscape is a little bit more competitive than the first time that they were looking for a SPAC. So that might hurt them a little bit. But the fact that they have good contacts in the industry now is significant, and they have a track record now. They can tell prospective like partners, hey, look, we brought Hyliion and look at their stock price now. So let's keep an eye out on this one, Tortoise Acquisition Corp 2. I'll see what happens in the future and I'll report all of the news and updates. All right, so now I want to talk about DPHC Lordstown, which has a pretty nice pop today, and it's going to be tying in with my video tomorrow that I'll be releasing about electric vehicle companies. So I strongly encourage that you watch it tomorrow. I think you guys will enjoy it. But let's take a look at DPHC. So today there was pretty nice volume, 5.6 million compared to 1.2 million usually. But and nice pop. I mean 1.55, 10.73%. That's significant. But the thing is that there was no news, right? This is all speculation. This is all because of the like I mentioned it last week how it has a lot of political backing. You guys remember last week it was featured a little bit on the in the Democratic convention. Well, now it's been featured yesterday in the Republican convention. So I feel like this stock something that's going for it. By the way, you can watch my full review. I like the company, right? I think it has promise, but at the same time, I don't think you can pay any price for it. I think it's very early to pay 16 bucks for this company or the warrants at 592. I feel like this is pure speculation. I feel like it's overpriced right now, personally. And what I do look at the gap here, like big gap up from 14 to almost 16 today on no news. So I feel like this company is going to be part of the culture war. This is what I see happening in the future. And that's actually going to be a plus for the company. All the people that feel like they're patriotic and they want to buy American and get into that whole culture war thing, they'll stand behind Lordstown and they'll want Lordstown products. So I feel like that's actually a positive for the company. Usually I don't say that. I mean, I've talked before. I try to stay out of politics, but I feel like this company is going to have some really hardcore fans that want to support the company and they feel like they're being patriotic by doing so. But at the same time, just saying it now, I'd be very careful. Like if I were you, people are very excited. I saw a lot of videos today about how Lordstown is popping and like it's so amazing and everything. But there was no news. So please be careful. Don't overpay for stuff. Like within a few weeks, there might be no one talking about it until the ramp up to the merger, and it might well go back down. So for now, it's sustained, like it's going up because a lot of political backing, but please be careful. And I just want to wrap up with CCH that's going to be merging with us. Very exciting. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., August 27th, is going to be the shareholder meeting to vote on the merger. And that's caused the price to go up. But again, I feel like the Debbie Downer today. I have to really hammer it down. I have to be honest with you guys. Please be careful. I don't think that this is going to be very good if you're buying at the top right now. This is a pure spec thing where because people know that the shareholder meeting is tomorrow, people have been pumping it like crazy. Oh, it's going to go to 25, it's going to go to 30. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it's a 10 to 12% growth rate stock. I did a full review on it on Monday. You can watch that. The link is in the description. It's a good company. I believe in it. It's a very strong company. It's not a spec play like a lot of the other SPACs. But at the same time, it's not the type of company that should double or triple in price over a couple of days. It's just not that type of stock. So be very, very careful. Don't be buying at the top. This is the type of company that right now what they want to do is they bought early, now they're trying to pump it, and they'll be selling tomorrow or in the next few days, right? As soon as they can, they'll be selling and taking their profit. This isn't from investors that are into this stock long term. So I just wanted to give this warning out, public service announcement. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. If you think that this stock is going to 25 and you have a good argument for it, let me know because I don't see it. Like the 2% dividend to me is complete crap. It just means that they don't have anything better to do with the money. So that's it for this week. We've had a lot of excitement. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I enjoy it, and as you guys know, I try to reply to as many as I can. So I'll see you guys in the next video, probably tomorrow, about EV stocks.